Today it's the six main character authors in What Light Was. A match is struck. Typewriter keys snap like detectives flipping through case files. This story ain't clean, sweetheart. It's smudged with ink and heavy with ghosts. The kind of story that whispers while you sleep and slaps you awake while you're sober. It's the tale of six writers, six burning minds who made the same fatal mistake. They couldn't stop rewriting each other. Mary, Percy, Godwin, Wollstonecraft, Zelda, Scott. The whole cocktail party, minus the ice. This isn't just a parlor game. This was soul surgery with a fountain pen. They didn't just write about each other. They revised one another, memorialized, dramatized, sometimes weaponized each other's lives. Love, guilt, obsession, ambition, it all ran through the ink like arsenic in perfume. Beautiful, and maybe a little fatal. Let's open the dossier. Scott Fitzgerald, charming, tragic, sharp as broken glass, poured his past into every book like it was a confession laced with jazz. He didn't write novels. He reassembled memories. Gatsby wasn't fiction. It was resurrection. And Zelda, she flipped the script, turned their marriage into a play, set the stage on fire, and danced in the smoke. Scott called it a betrayal, called it sabotage, said, "The mixture of fact and fiction is calculated to ruin what is left of us. My God, my books made her a legend, and her single intention is to make me a non-entity." Can you hear the tremble in that? That wasn't just bruised ego. That was a man watching his own myth escape his control. Now Mary Shelley, she didn't play light either. She rewrote Percy into mythic tragedy. And Frankenstein, he's the double, Victor, Anna's unnamed kid. In The Last Man, he's the shadow of apocalypse. In her footnotes, Shelley's the ghost that never quite left the room. But when it came time to write Godwin's memoirs, her own father, she froze, couldn't do it. And she felt it, that guilt, that failure, not as an author, but as a daughter. Godwin wrote Wollstonecraft's life like it was a thesis, meant to preserve her, accidentally shattered her, meant to polish her legend, ended up turning her into a cautionary tale. Sometimes the hand that raises you is the same one that buries you in the rain. In Wollstonecraft, she tried to claim the story first. Letters from Scandinavia, revolutions, pirate hunting, heartache, she told it all. Raw, real, first person, but she couldn't control what happened next. Couldn't control the edits. Meanwhile, Percy Shelley wrote himself like he was trying to outrun death. 4 major works, countless monologues, always the hero, always the martyr, always the firebrand. Green banners, radical dreams, doomed ideals. He wasn't writing poems, he was carving monuments. And somewhere between the verse and the vanity, he vanished into his own reflections. Zelda got the joke. She said only 2 people around will outlive their identities. Mussolini and Hitler. And maybe Shelley's Napoleon, if you want to stretch. But most of us, we don't get out clean. We get mythologized until we're no longer recognizable. And that brings us to the most famous flicker in the whole Fitzgerald arsenal, the green light. That little shimmer at the end of Daisy's dock, the icon, the dream, the thing Gatsby dies chasing. But that light, it's just not about hope. It's about uncertainty. It's about the risk of loving something too much to see it clearly. Scott knew what he was doing. He made that light green for a reason. Percy used green too, on flags, on devil's bag, on revolutions. It's not just the color of safety, it's the color of obsession, the color of hunger, the color your mind turns when you want something so badly, you'd give your name for it. Nick sees it, watches it change, from dream to symbol to ordinary dock lamp, because symbols don't last. But the wanting, that stays, that haunts. What is it to write someone else's life? It's a gamble, a loaded dice throw at memory. Sometimes it brings immortality, other times oblivion. Because the second you write someone down, you change them. You trap them, you crown them, you execute them. But either way, the damage is done. Is it better to leave the past alone? To let the dead rest uncaptioned? Maybe. If you're going to write someone, really write them. Not as a myth, or a martyr, or a metaphor, but as a human being. You've got to risk everything. You've got to show them as frail, as heroic, as messed up, as magnificent. You show them challenged and surmounting, domineered and daunting, hurt, hopeful, angry, generous. You show them failing and forgiving and unforgettable. You write them not to control them, but to see them fully, without mercy, without mask. That's the only way. Because the best thing a book can do, the only thing worth doing, isn't to preserve a legend, is to encourage humanity, to make the reader more human, to make them feel more alive, more vulnerable, more brave, and if you're lucky, more willing to see the people in their own life as stories still being written, not monuments already carved. And that's what Light is. It's not a tribute, it's not a eulogy, it's not even a love letter. It's a flare shot across time, from one burning mind to another. It's the light made from the friction of people trying and failing to save each other with words. Wollstonecraft and Godwin, Shelley and Mary, Zelda and Scott, all of them rewriting each other into existence, all of them passing the match to little Scotty, who doesn't write legends. She writes sentences, clean, human, true. Writers writing writers, writers ruining writers, writers reviving writers. An unyielding society of flame keepers. No rules, no guarantees, just one commandment. Write with the light that burns.